Hey everybody, how's it going? Bear here, and today we're gonna be talking about Mandragora. I think it's about time I actually do this video because I said I was gonna do it a long time ago, and from now on I'm gonna start talking about more mons that I want to talk about. Except with the upcoming Hero Festival, I don't know what the Rebirth mon is gonna be, but if it's something we haven't talked about yet, then I'll talk about that one as well. But besides that, I don't really have set plans, but I'm gonna try to talk about a lot of Nat 3s from here on for a little while. But before we get into looking over Mandragora, I realized after recording the last video about Pinolo that I forgot to show off my wood Pinolo so that you guys can see an example of how to build it. And so I will do that now. And also I actually have managed to finish off building my dark Pinolo that I wanted to try out, so I can show that off as well, which is great. So here's wood. And so as you can see, I do have wood on a full leech set. Ideally, leech set, I believe, is what you should go for with him. Ruin, of course, is really good as well. Leech just works well for him because it keeps him alive, which is something that he really needs because he is a really frail mon. But anyway, the gems I have on him aren't actually that great. I just put a subpar leech set on him, and he does really well. He is on triple attack, but as you can see here, there's a little bit of defense and HP percent, which is nice. The recovery isn't helpful, and neither is the flat stat. Then here we have some resist, which is actually pretty nice because, of course, helps keep away the seal from the water titan. And a little bit of crit rate, but not really much. It only has 17 crit rate total. And then here we are. This one's only 5-star. Again, I do need to really up his gems, but leech gems, good leech gems, are very hard to come by. But this one does have some decent resist as well, so that's a good thing. And then I have max level trinkets on him. They are only 4 stars, I believe, for all of them. Yes, they are only 4 stars, but of course all rares. And his final stats are here. So his attack stat actually gets pretty good. His defenses are okay-ish. They're, of course, lower than you'd like, but there isn't much you can do for him on that front just because he is naturally a very frail mon. But he still does very well. When I do use him, well, I use him in my wood mon team for water titan all the time, and he on average does 5 to 8 mil every time. So unless I have like absolutely terrible RNG and he dies right away, but yeah, so 5 to 8 mil is the average for him. And of course he is fully booked, as Pinolo did recently get skill books. I do have him as a variant, though I do not use his leader skill. I use him with an attack lead with my wood cherry, which having him with wood cherry is nice because she does have her shield automatically. So if you have him on the right side and wood cherry gets the shield on the first turn, you can pretty much bypass the seal, which is very nice. And then anyway, here is the dark Pinolo that I built. I just finished it the other day, I think yesterday actually, and have it on attack, crit rate. As you can see, the first attack gem was only a 5-star, but it does get his crit rate up to a nice 93%, very nice. And the trinkets are maxed out as well. The attack and crit res are both 5-star trinkets, which are very nice, help out a lot. And as you can see by his stats here, his HP and defense higher than wood Pinolo's. His attack is lower, though. Keep in mind it's because he only has 1 attack gem. Well, he only has 2 attack gems, where Pinolo has 1 more. And I did try him out. I had terrible RNG with the 2 times I tried him out. My healers did not get orbs, and he died immediately. Well, the whole team died immediately, but he still did over 2 mil each time. So with good RNG, I can see him doing a lot better. But anyway, on to Mandragora now. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure to cover that up since I forgot to do it in the last video. But now, on to Mandragora. As I said many times, let's just scroll down to find her real quick. I think I passed her. Yep, here we are. So here's the Evo 1. This cute little plant thing. And Evo 2. It's a little bit bigger plant thing. And then Evo 3 goes to a lolly, which is cool. Honestly, looking at the first 2 evolutions for this mon, I did not expect it to look like this at the Evo 3, but I'm happy it does because I do like this mon aesthetically. And here's the variant, and one of the rare fire variants that I actually like, so I'm going to go with the variant over the regular. And of course, Mandragora is farmable, so getting variant is very easy. Now looking at the stats, she is an attacker. She has she got a really good HP stat for a Nat 3 attacker. Her attack stat is okay as well, and her defense, while low for attackers in general, it's pretty much middle of the road for Nat 3 attackers, so can't really complain. But it would be nice if it was a little higher. Mandragora for Super Evolution, anyone? I think that'd be dope. Looking at the skills, so first off we'll start with the leader skill, which is Grace of Life, HP up 30 to 35%. It is elemental specific, so for Fire Mandragora it's fire only, and so on. And then on 3-star we have Sleep 100% on crit, and it is 1 turn. And skill books give a 25% damage boost there. And then on 5-star we have Hunter for 30%. Skill books give a 20% damage boost there. Where you'd want to use her, you can actually use her in quite a few places. So one is PvP. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that last, actually. But yeah, you can use it for farming. The sleep isn't very helpful there, but just having an AoE Hunter is very nice. As well for GB9 and DB8, which in DB8 specifically, the sleep might be helpful, you know, against, what's the middle mon in DB8? I believe it's a Wood Victoria? Not Victoria, Valkyrie? I believe that's what it is, so being able to put her to sleep and just prevent her from healing the team on the first wave would be pretty nice, but it's not reliable because she will have decent resist. You really just want her for the Hunter for that. Then you can also use her in Titans really early game just as a fire attacker, but keep in mind she will fall off very quickly as you start to get Unflinching Strike and Courageous Strike mons. Then as well for Wood Colossus just as damage dealer, but same thing, she will fall off as you get mons with damage increasing skills on their 3-star rather than their 5-star. And then last, TOC, floors 80 and 100 specifically, just having a 100% CC is very nice for those floors. Keep in mind those places have resist, but that doesn't matter too much. And actually, now that I think about it, she might be really good for floor 80, because I believe the waves are wood Lokis for that, so she'll have elemental advantage there, so that's another plus for her. And then having that 100% CC for the Odin, very good. And then PvP, let's get back to that. So, during regular league, she could do okay as you're low on the ladder. Just being a fire attacker, having 100% CC, and then a damage increasing AoE attack for a 5-star, very nice. Just keep in mind, crit resistance will make her a little bit less reliable, since both of her skills require crit. And then also, talk about the 3-star boosted league, where she'll get a nice 120% stat increase for all of her stats. Very nice there. And in that league, she will do a lot better, because her damage will be a lot higher, and so will her survivability. In which case, how I would build her, I would build her completely offensively, so crit, because she has crit required, she needs the square slot, so let's go crit rate attack attack, crit rate attack crit damage. In the 3-star league, I believe crit rate attack crit damage is the ideal build to get the most out of the stat boost you get, so definitely something I'd recommend if you do plan on using her. But yeah, let's go on to water now. There is a bit less to say about water because honestly it is not that great. Here we are. Here's the regular. And the variant once it loads. I like the variant a lot. The dark hair with the blue skin, very nice, whereas the regular one is all like one color except the dress. Yeah. So, looking at the stats, she is also an attacker, but her HP is a bit lower, well, a lot lower than Fire. And her attack is about the same, and her defense is lower. So, overall, stat-wise, she is worse than Fire already. But, just looking at her on her own, her HP is okay, her attack is okay, her defense is really low, but you can't really do anything about that. Looking at the skills, though, this is what really hurts her. So, first off, Fatigue on 3-star. Skill books do make it is 60% 1 turn, skill books make it 70%, and 2 turns give a 10% damage boost. Then on 5-star she has recovery down, 60% 2 turns. Skill books make it 70% 3 turns, and give a 10% damage boost there. But see, the problem with her, even though her skills do have decent rates, is that the skills that she has aren't great. Fatigue is pretty much useless, especially when we have other skills like Thirst and SP Siphon, things like that. And then recovery down on 5-star is pretty much useless. On 3-star, if her skills were flipped, I would have said she would have been decent for Light Colossus if you do use the recovery down method. But since it's not like that, she doesn't really have anywhere that you'd want to use her. You can, if you really, really want to use her in PvP during the 3-star league, but just as a standard water attacker. You won't be getting anything out of her skills for it, but just some damage, I guess, which the stat boost can help her there. So there's that. If you do want to use it there, you can build her offensively, just so she can do as much damage as possible. But besides that, there is nothing you really want to use it for. Anyway, let's move on to wood. See, I told you that one would be quick. And where is she? There we are. And the funny thing about Mandragora is, being a plant-based monster, you would think the wood one would be at least good. But she's not terrible, but like she's not water Mandragora terrible, but she's still not great. Don't know why I opened the skills yet. So first up, looking at her design, there's the regular and the variant. I like the regular. The colors are a bit more vibrant. The other one's more pale. And looking at the stats, she is a defender. She has good HP, good defense. Her attack is abysmal. But of course, she wouldn't really be meant to do much damage anyway. Then looking at her skills, on 3-star we have Sap, 60%, 1 type, 1 turn. Skill books make it 70% 2 turns and give a 10% damage boost. Then on 5-star she has Sleep, 40% 1 turn, and skill books make it 70%. And I don't think they give it damage boost. At least I didn't write in my notes that they did. If I'm wrong, my bad. But see, the thing that holds her back is that her skills don't really go well together. Sap could be useful for GB10 and Water Colossus, but I don't know, Sleep and Water Colossus is useless. And for GB10, it is not ideal either. So, yeah. If you really want to use Wood Mandragora, you can use her. I would suggest using her really only in the Water Colossus and just spamming her 3-star every turn for that Sap. But even there, she doesn't shine really well just because she only has 1 type of Sap. Which means it'll be harder for her to stack her Saps, and which would make the run really slow or really inconsistent. But yeah, that's about it. And if I were to use her there, I'd build her tanky, bulky, HP, defense, defense, and just have as high resist as you possibly can. But besides that, she doesn't really have anywhere else that you'd want to use her. And now, let's move on to Light. And I have no clue where Light would be on the list. I know she's with 4 stars, but I don't know where exactly she would be. There we are. So here's the regular. Okay. Every time that I click on a new one, we get to see this animation. And oh my gosh, she's so cute. Here's the variant. I don't know. I like them both. I like them both a lot. I can't decide. Looking at the stats, she is a defender. She has really good HP, and her defense is actually really, really high. It's really good for an Nat 4. And then her attack is okay. It's also very low. But again, she's not meant to do damage, so it's not super bad. It'd just be nice if it was a little higher. So, looking at her skills. So on 3-star, we have Fearless Taunt, 80%, 2 turns. I don't know her skill book values because I do not have a Light Mandragora, but I assume it would just bring it up to 90 or even 100%. Hopefully 100, but 90 wouldn't be that bad either. And then on 5-star, we have Sap, 90%, 2 types, 1 turn. Hopefully it makes the Sap 2 turns, or that even if it didn't go up to 100%, if it at least made it 2 turns, it'd be a lot better. Sorry, I had to pause for a moment. But anyway, where you'd want to use her. So 1, PvP. She does really well in PvP because of that Fearless Taunt. I don't remember what her skills used to be, but she just got Fearless Taunt when the skill came out. But before she was something, she used to be terrible before. But now she's really good for PvP. Just slap her on your defense team, call it a day. You can also use her for a Tower of Chaos, just for her CC. But even then, it's not that great, of course. You'd rather have something that actually prevents the bosses from doing anything, like stun or shock. And how I build her, HP, defense, defense, and just make sure you have as much resist as possible so she doesn't get stun locked. But yeah, that's about it for her. She is really good for PvP defense. I definitely recommend using her if you have her. We already see with Light Miho how good Fearless Taunt can be on defense. And put her on a healer set if you can. Definitely recommend it. Healer set, Light Miho is amazing, and I can see the same thing applying to Light Mandragora. And then lastly, here we have Dark Mandragora. Here's the variant. I love the variant because of the purples, and also mine is variant, so I'm quite used to it. Looking at the stats, she's an attacker. She has an okay attack stat. Well, she has a really good attack stat. I would just like it to be higher, but that's just me. It is still very good. Her HP is very good as well. Defense is quite low, but it's not terrible in comparison to attackers, so nothing much you can do there. It'd be nice if her defense and recovery could switch around. That'd be great. It wouldn't be super big of a difference, but it would still be quite nice. Anyway, looking at her skills, so on 3-star and 5-star, she has Hunter 50%, and Skill Books give a 20% damage boost for both. And she can also be used in quite a few places, as you can with Fire. You'll definitely notice more as you play the game, or watch these videos, that attackers tend to have a lot more usage than any other type of mon. But anyway, where you can use her. So, PvP, offense, definitely. I have seen people use her in defense, especially during special season as the hidden mon, so she can just come out and use her active. Don't do that. She will die immediately, and if you build her super tanky so that she won't die immediately, she won't do enough damage to where it'll be helpful. Then you can use her for farming, being a dark attacker with Hunter. Her whole purpose is to just do massive damage. Though keep in mind, any place that you do use her for farming, her 3-star animation is quite slow, so that's something to keep factor in if you decide to use it for farming. You can use her as GB10, any of the golden floors really, just being able to do massive damage. DB7, DB8, I don't know if she would be viable for DB8 or DB9, just because those dungeons are quite strong, so she might die. But she could be used for DB7 and definitely DB10. And then, of course, you can use her in Titans just as a standard dark attacker, but she will only really fall off once you start to get Unflinching Strike and Courageous Strike mons, but she can still do a lot of damage there. Then, also, like Colossus and Dark Colossus, just being a dark nuker, both those places, very, very nice. How I would build her, crit rate, attack, or crit rate, crit rate, attack is how I'd go. I was debating crit damage, but she already has the nice base 100 crit damage from being a dark mon, so she might not need it too much, but either is a viable build. So you can go with either. Just make sure you build her with a crit rate gem, because both her skills are crit reliant, and being a dark attacker with base 100 crit damage, you're going to want to build her with crit rate anyway. So if you are unlucky and you don't get a square slot, she is definitely a contender for a gem slot change if you end up getting one at some point. So just keep that in mind there. And before we end it, I will show my Dark Mandragora just so you can have an example of how one can be built. Mine isn't built super great. I don't have trinkets or anything, and she's on a broken set, as you can see. She is max booked, so that's a thing. That's very nice. But anyway, here, crit rate gem, some crit damage, some resist, very helpful, especially if I do use her in CBC, so even that little bit of resist can be helpful sometimes. Then attack, some crit rate, some defense and HP subs as well to keep her alive. And then again, crit rate, though this gem definitely needs to be replaced for sure. All the gems do. Ideally, I would have her on a ruin set. But at the point when I gemmed her, I didn't have the gems for her, and I still don't have the gems for her because I put up the other mons. But anyway, before we end it off, just to prioritize the Mandragora. So first off, Dark, because it's an amazing mon. Double Hunter Dark mon, just in general, amazing. Then Light, because she can be really good for PvP defense, as we've seen through Light Miho as an example, which I didn't mention, but the sap can be a bit useful there just because it does lower resist a little. So if she does use it, it's not like, oh my god, she used her 5-star, I'm going to die now. So there's that to keep in mind. Next I would put Fire, because she is actually a pretty good fire attacker. Not like top tier or anything, but she is pretty good and can be especially useful in the 1 to 3 league, or the 3-star boosted league, whatever. And then Wood would be next, just because she does have a single use, even though she's not ideal. She can still be used in water colossus, and water is last because it really doesn't have any use. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Mandragora video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to stay updated on any future videos. I do tend to upload a bit sporadically, but I will try to be a little bit more consistent. I'll try to record a couple of videos over the next few days, just because on Wednesday, the following week, I don't know the date, but I will be going back to work after being on quarantine for like a month almost. Which, wow, I've been on quarantine for like a month and I've only uploaded like 3 videos. Oh no, I uploaded quite a bit more actually. When I first went on quarantine, I was a bit more consistent. But then I died off. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Have yourselves a good day. I'll see you guys all in the next one.